Hi, students, let's get started with the subject Social Science, Chapter 6. The Beginnings of Indian Civilization. The most ancient civilization of India, known variously as the Harappan, Indus or Indus-Saraswat civilization, was indeed remarkable in many ways. It showed how a well-balanced community lives, in which the differences between the rich and the poor are not glaring. In essence, the Harappan societal scenario was not that of exploitation, but of mutual accommodation. B.B. Lal. What is a civilization? At the end of Chapter 4, we saw the first human groups settling down, practicing agriculture, developing some technologies, such as construction, metallurgy, transport, and moving towards civilization. What, then, is civilization? In general, the term is used for an advanced stage of human societies. To be precise, we will consider here that civilization should have at least the following characteristics: some form of government and administration to manage a more complex society and its many activities. Urbanism, town planning, the growth of cities and their management, which generally includes water management and a drainage system, a variety of crafts, including the management of raw materials such as stone or metal, and the production of finished goods, such as ornaments and tools, trade both internal, within a city or a region, and external, with distant regions or other parts of the world, to exchange all sorts of goods, some form of writing, needed to keep records and to communicate cultural ideas about life and the world, expressed through art, architecture, literature, oral traditions or social customs. A productive agriculture, enough to feed not just the villages but also the cities. It is easy enough to see that all these characteristics are present in most societies in the world today. But when did civilization begin, in the sense we have now defined? Civilization began at different times in different parts of the world. In the region known as Mesopotamia, modern Iraq and Syria, that happened about 6,000 years ago, and the civilization in ancient Egypt followed a few centuries later. You will learn about these and a few more civilizations in a later grade. In many ways, humanity would not have reached its present stage without the enormous contributions and advances of those ancient civilizations. For now, however, we will only look at the Indian subcontinent, and its northwest region is where our story begins. From village to city, the vast plains of the Punjab, today divided between India and Pakistan, and Sindh, now in Pakistan, are watered by the Indus River and its tributaries. This made those plains fertile and, therefore, favorable to agriculture. A little further east, a few millenniums ago, another river, the Saraswat, used to flow from the foothills of the Himalayas through Haryana, Punjab, parts of Rajasthan and Gujarat. In this whole region, from about 3500 BCE, villages grew into towns, and with increasing trade and other exchanges, those towns further grew into cities. This transition happened around 2600 BCE. Archaeologists gave this civilization several names: Indus, Harappan, Indus-Saraswat, or Sindhu-Saraswat civilization. We will use all these terms. Its inhabitants are called Harappans. It is one of the oldest civilizations in the world. This development is also called the first urbanization of India. The Saraswat River, the map the Indus or Sindhu, and its 5 main tributaries, important cities grew along those rivers, such as Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. But there are also many sites along the Saraswat River, which today goes by the name of Ghaggar in India and Hakra in Pakistan, hence the name Ghaggar-Hakra River. This river is now seasonal because it flows only during the rainy season. The Saraswat River is first mentioned in the Rigveda, an ancient collection of prayers which we will read about in chapter 7. In this text, Saraswat is worshipped both as a goddess and as a river flowing from the mountain to the sea. Later texts describe the river as drying up and eventually disappearing. Town planning, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, now in Pakistan, were the first 2 cities of this civilization to be discovered, and their identification goes back to 1924, a century ago. Several sites followed in the Indus Plains, which is why the civilization was initially called Indus Valley Civilization. Later on, other major cities such as Dholavira in Gujarat, Rakhigdi in Haryana, Gamveriwala in the Kolistan desert of Pakistan, and hundreds of smaller sites such as Lothal in Gujarat were discovered, some of them excavated. Such discoveries continue even today. It is interesting to note that the Saraswat Basin includes not only 2 major cities, Rakhigdi and Gamveriwala, but also several smaller ones. Farmana in Haryana, Kalibangan in Rajasthan, and a few towns, Bhirrana and Banwali, both in Haryana. Indeed, the map makes clear the high density of sites in that region. The larger Harappan cities were built according to precise plans. They had wide streets, which were often oriented to the cardinal directions. Most cities seem to have been surrounded by fortifications and had 2 distinct parts, the upper town, where the local elite probably lived, and the lower town, where common people lived. Some large buildings seem to have been used for collective purposes, for instance, warehouse where goods to be transported were stored. Individual houses of various sizes line the streets and smaller lanes. Interestingly, the quality of construction was the same for small and big houses. All those buildings were generally made of bricks. The purpose of some of the structures remains a matter of debate. This is the case of the famous Great Bath in Mohenjo-daro. A small but elaborate tank which measured about 12 times 7 meters and had waterproofing materials such as natural bitumen, a form of tar, applied on top of carefully laid out bricks. The tank was surrounded by small rooms, one of which contained a well, and there was a drain in one corner of the tank to empty it from time to time and refill it with fresh water. What was the purpose of such a structure? Archaeologists have proposed several possible interpretations: a public bath for people, a bath for the royal family only, or a tank used for religious rituals. The first interpretation is now ruled out because it turns out that in this city, most houses had individual bathrooms. Water management. The Harappans gave much importance to water management and cleanliness. They often had separate areas for bathing in their homes. These were connected to a larger network of drains, which generally ran below the streets and took the waste water away. In Mohenjo-daro, people drew water from hundreds of wells made of bricks. But in other regions, it may have been from ponds, nearby streams, or human-made reservoirs. In the case of Dholavira, in the run of Kutch in Gujarat, the largest reservoir measured 73 meters in length. At Dholavira, at least 6 large reservoirs were built with stones or even cut into the rock. Most of them were connected through underground drains for efficient water harvesting and distribution. What did the Harappans eat? The Harappans created many of their settlements along the banks of large or small rivers. This is a logical choice, not just for easy access to water, but also for agriculture, since rivers enrich the soil around them. Archaeological findings have shown that the Harappans grew cereals like barley, wheat, some millets, and sometimes rice, in addition to pulses and a variety of vegetables. They were also the first in Eurasia to grow cotton, which they used to weave into clothes. They made farming tools, including the plough, Fic. 6.9, some of which continue to be used by modern-day farmers. This intense agricultural activity was managed by hundreds of small rural sites or villages. Then as now, the cities could survive only if enough agricultural produce from rural areas reached them on a daily basis. The Harappans also domesticated a number of animals for meat consumption and fished both in rivers and in the sea. This is known from the large numbers of animal and fish bones found during excavations. What did Harappan cooking pots contain? Scientific examinations of clay pots have provided some answers, both expected ones, dairy products, and surprising ones, such as remains of turmeric, ginger, and banana. Clearly, their diet was quite diverse. A brisk trade, the Harappans were engaged in active trade, not only within their own civilization, other cities nearby or far away, but with other civilizations and cultures within and outside India. Objects of daily use, probably also gold and cotton, and possibly some food items. The most favored ornaments were beads of carnelian, a reddish semi-precious stone found mostly in Gujarat. Harappan craftspeople developed special techniques to drill them so a string could pass through them and to decorate them in various ways. They also worked conch shells into beautiful shell bangles, which requires sophisticated techniques as shell is a hard material. What the Harappans imported in exchange of the exported goods is not so clear. It probably included copper, since this metal was not so common back home. The Harappans mastered the art of working copper, a soft metal. If tin is added to copper, the resulting metal is bronze, which is harder than copper. The Harappans used bronze to make tools, pots and pans, and, as we will see later, some figurines. To conduct such a trade, they used land routes and rivers, and the sea for more distant destinations. This is the first intensive maritime activity in India. Indeed, quite a few Harappan settlements are located in the coastal regions of Gujarat and Sindh. Lothal, a small settlement in Gujarat, has a surprisingly huge basin measuring 217 meters in length and 36 meters in width. The length is just a little more than that of two football grounds. This basin must have been a dockyard, that is, a structure used to receive and send boats for further transportation of goods. Such elaborate trade requires traders to be able to identify their goods and also each other. This seems to have been the chief purpose of thousands of small seals, which have been excavated from many settlements. These seals were generally made of steatite, a soft stone that would be hardened through heating. They measure only a few centimeters and generally depict animal figures with, above them, a few signs that are part of a writing system. But that system and the symbolic meaning of the animal figures are yet to be understood. What is certain is that they somehow relate to trade activities. The end or a new beginning. Around 1900 BCE, this Sindhu-Saraswat civilization, despite all its achievements, began to fall apart. The cities were abandoned one by one. If any inhabitants remained, they adopted a rural lifestyle in the changed environment. It appears that the earlier government or administration no longer existed. Gradually, the Harappans scattered over hundreds, if not thousands, of small rural settlements. What caused this decline? Archaeologists have proposed many factors. Long back, it was thought that warfare or invasions may have destroyed the cities, but there is no trace of warfare or invasion. Indeed, the Harappans do not seem to have kept any army or weapons of war. As far as the evidence goes, it seems to have been a relatively peaceful civilization. Two factors are currently agreed upon. First, a climatic change which affected much of the world from 2200 BC onward, causing reduced rainfall and a drier phase. This would have made agriculture more difficult and could have reduced food supply to the cities. Second, the Saraswat River dried up in its central basin. Suddenly, cities there, such as Kalibangan or Banwali, were abandoned. There could have been other factors, but these two remind us of how much we depend on climate and the environment for our well-being. Although the cities disappeared, much of the Harappan culture and technology survived and was passed on to the next phase of Indian civilization, which we will explore in a future chapter. Before we move on, the Indus, Harappan or Sindhu-Saraswat civilization is one of the oldest of the world. Its inhabitants, the Harappans, created planned cities with efficient water management, diverse crafts and a brisk trade. A productive agriculture brought a variety of crops to the cities. The civilization eventually declined, probably because of climatic and environmental changes. People returned to a rural lifestyle. Thanks for watching.